to us about what cortisone does to tissues.
Ooh, cortisone. Cortisone. Cortisone rots the tissue. It necrotizes it. And there's something out there that they call a cortisone pucker. And the only way that you can actually tell if that person has a cortisone pucker is if you feel both sides of the body and let them point to where that spot is where they got the shot. And if you feel that spot and you feel the spot over here that didn't get the shot, you'll find that there's an indent where the cortisone went in. It'll actually pucker, it will actually get down in there, and it'll feel slimy. It doesn't feel like tissue. You're not moving tissue. It's more like you're moving slime. So what's happened to that tissue in that area, and it depends on how big the area gets from the cortisone, how much liquid it was in the shot, depends on how that determines how big the cortisone pucker is and how many shots you get there. But the idea is that you destroy the tissue in the area and it quits complaining. But what happens is because you screwed up the tissue in that area, the tissue around that little spot there, then it starts bitching. Just like the original tissue was bitching. Remember, it's information. It's an overload of information. And that little overload of information there now has spread to a wider area. And so now this area isn't getting better, and it's bitching even more. And so what you've got here is something that can slowly grow, but it'll still feel like it at the core. It's in the center of that area, but now it hurts in a bigger, wider area. And so what you think, of course, is that you're getting worse. And you are getting worse in terms of going backwards in trying to fix this little thing. Because this little thing now is now a bigger thing, because now it's not only damaged from whatever it was that you did to it originally, but now it's got cortisone around it that is this slimy stuff that no longer connects anything in there. It doesn't act the same way. So that means that it's under more stress than it was originally, it originally was and had and was designed for. So it's like you can't go back to the original design because the original design is gone. And once you've gotten rid of that design, because everything was connected in a very specific way in every joint and around every muscle. Everything was designed to be able to do the things that it was designed to do when you were 15. The same design is in there when you're 80. It's just older. And what happens then is when you shoot cortisone into an area there, then you might get it slicker again and it might move a little bit better for a while, but there's new damage in there. The new damage is from the shot. And it's that shot that starts that deterioration in a larger area. And a lot of people that get those shots, say around their hips, they'll get a shot. Or they'll get a shot in their knee. Well, it will last for a while. In quote, it'll last for a while. But if you think about what you're doing in there, what you're doing in that, if it's a knee, you're actually putting space back there, which is what connective tissue is all about. It's the space. It is the amount of space that's in there that gives you that freedom of movement in there. It's an engineering delight in terms of the design. The design was designed for you specifically. As soon as you put something extra in there, after it's deteriorated in some way, what you've done is you've put back the grease there. The problem is that it's not as stable as it was designed to be. It's like putting mortar between bricks that have shifted and they've moved, and you just shoot more plaster in there. You haven't changed it. You've changed its looks, but you haven't changed that there is something wrong in there that made it crack. And so you have to put back the original design. And because it's living, moving tissue, when you put back that when you put it back, it's not like brick then, it's like there's this movement now that can go back into that area that you're putting back. And so now you've got the original flexibility that you were designed to have, not something that's artificial. When you put something artificial in there, it throws everything off. And when you do it correctly with Rossiter, what you get is the original design back, and that original fluid comes back to the area and makes the area fluid with the design change that you've just reinstated. Now, what's important about that is goes to this. It goes to weight versus pressure. I always use the term weight when we apply weight to any area in the body while we're working, because when I think of weight, when you apply the weight, what you are doing is you are applying something that I consider innocent. Okay? Weight is just weight. It's just the amount of weight that you're applying in there, and then they move through that area. When you apply pressure, you're usually implying that you are also pushing it a certain way, because you think, you as the outside person who has no business thinking for that person, you think it's got to go over here, or you push it this way, or you push it over here because that's what you were taught. And what I'm saying is that without it being pure weight, what you are doing is you're trying to fix something that what they are doing by that movement is they are fixing it themselves with a non-prejudicial weight, as opposed to a pressure that is typically prejudice, because they're going from their knowledge, whereas what I want is I want to add the energy to the area. Weight is a form of energy, and when you just add it to the area and then you call for movement, they know how to move. Their body knows what to tell. Oh, yeah, I've got to reach here. Oh, it's really painful over there. And so what I'll do is I'll start reaching into those areas where, or I should say, the PIC will start reaching into those areas where they can feel there is restriction. Okay, I'm not saying it's there. They're saying it's there. And their results are much better when I keep my head and my thoughts out of it and allow them to go in there and fix themselves. They know how to fix themselves much better than I ever will. I will never be able to, end quote, fix somebody. All I am there to do is to assist them in allowing them to take over and say, oh, yeah, move your foot a little bit. Oh, there it is, right there. Oh, okay. And then they move in that area and they replace the lost space. Keep in mind, all I do in everything that is Rossiter is all I do is I put back the originally designed space. And you do that with weight and their movement.